the other person could have, let's say, a red mark or a scratch. Hey everybody, welcome to the Problem Solver podcast show. Welcome today. I'm David Kohlmeyer, the Problem Solver. Today we are going to have some amazing guests talking about Las Vegas and the hospitality. Just to recap, every single week, the Problem Solver has different special guests, community leaders, business people as well, that are coming on the show in order to basically help solve problems and help people in Las Vegas and Clark County. So again, I want to thank everybody for joining us today on the show. Today, I want to welcome three lovely people here. First of all, we have Tyra Bell Holland with Ava Rose Agency. And she's a guru in regards to public relations and integrative marketing. So I appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.
And then we also have Marissa Martina to my left, which is a co-founder and managing partner for Bar Cata Hospitality.
Yes, thank you.
And then we also have Rudy Aguas, co-founder and managing partner again. So we have three amazing people here today in regards to hospitality. I see we broke out some wine, so we're going to do a quick cheers here.
Cheers.
Since it's hospitality here. There we go, cheers. We have my brand 19 Crimes that I like because since it's a little bit of a criminal defense background since I was a police officer for 17 years.
Special label.
Beautiful.
Little Snoop Dogg on the label there. So anyway, the reason why I have you guys here today is that every week there's different people. I can have an insurance agent. I can have a personal injury attorney, a criminal defense attorney. I have people that are going into the tunnels for finding homeless people. Any nonprofit that's out there, I'm trying to help. And then this video will go, right now we're about 12,000 views on Facebook, social media. So I'm trying to get the information out to people. And believe it or not, if 5 people or 10 people, 20 people hear something here today, and it may change their life and they may take some action. So you guys in the hospitality industry in regards to Vegas, you've been around for a long time. So why don't we just go around quick minute bio. So Tyra, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Tyra. I've been in Las Vegas over 30 years, since college. Why did I just say that?
That was like a few years ago, right?
Yeah. You all know me, Running Rebel, proud mother of 3, amazing husband, and the founder of Ava Rose Agency for going on 7 years.
Got it. That was a good shout out to the husband.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And the 3 kids, how old are they now? I know I got 3 too.
3 teenagers. So my twins, boy, girl, are 13, Cruz and Kaya, and Isabella is 17.
Mine are, like 6 turning 17, and then I got a 4-year-old turning 8 or 10. These kids watching YouTube these days, and then I got my little boy turning 3. So 3 kids are, I think 3. It's a lot of children. Rudy, tell us about yourself.
I'm originally from Chicago. I actually moved out here for college. Graduated at UNLV, like Tyra and Marissa. Been in the hospitality business for, say, 20 plus years now.
Okay.
Work with a lot of resorts in the Strip, from Wynn and Encore, Venetian Palazzo, Hard Rock. Work with a lot of celebrity chefs, from Scott Conan to David Burke to Carrie Simon, and I've been doing this since I've been living here, so I love it. I mean, I have a big background on beverage as well as management.
Got it. And yourself, lovely lady, Marissa Martino, go ahead, tell us about yourself.
Thank you. I am Vegas born. I am born and raised here. Did live in Philadelphia for a while, but I am also a running rebel. Live and breathe hospitality. I've opened up more restaurants than my years and worked along many famous, awesome chefs and love to create concepts. I also have 2 kids and a fabulous husband. This is my passion. So
awesome. What I love about when I look into your eyes, all of you are excited and passionate about what you do, which is amazing because a lot of people don't do what they love in general. So you guys seem passionate, what you're doing. So that's amazing. I want to share a quick story with you. When I came out here, I'm here 19 years. Grew up in New York City. Was a cop for 17 years in New York City NYPD. I was out there for 9/11. Came out here. I was a police officer in Henderson. Since we're kind of getting to know each other a little bit, the last 6 years I've been working with different law firms to help people as well. To me, I looked at it like I was doing community policing inside a law office. But as a cop, I've always wanted to my thought process was to work on the weekends as like a VIP host or like a casino host, something with hospitality.
Yeah.
And it was always my thought process, probably watching back in the day 90210 or these Vegas shows,
That's great.
But what happens is as a cop, you're not allowed to work like in a casino. You can't do valet, you can't be a locksmith because they're afraid of corruption. So I never really kind of knew that per se when I came out here, but I figured it would be a great weekend thing to do if I work, different schedules. So I was always upset that I wasn't involved, in hospitality, like on the weekend thing. I thought it'd be a cool thing to be like a host, watch all these TV shows and stuff like that.
This is the place to do it.
Definitely.
So anyway, but I always got upset that I couldn't do it in general. So anyway, I wanted to bring up to right now with the whole COVID thing. I guess June 1st is coming around the corner. It seems Vegas is busy in general. What are your thoughts about Vegas coming back right now? We had one of the other bloggers. He was big on Vegas, going out to all the different places. But what are your thoughts? Because you guys know these different restaurant owners in these different places. What's your thoughts about Vegas? About the comeback?
I can tell you that people are ready to open up that 100%. The problem they're finding right now is getting the staff to come back. We're getting calls nonstop in our company of how you can help bring a chef or a GM or servers. I mean, they're having a hard time with that portion. But the restaurant owners and the people that want to participate, they are so ready to just flood back into the restaurants and nightlife. And I know Tyra can talk about that a little bit because she represents some high-end places that are busy. So
yeah, we're it's amazing. I mean, the amount of enthusiasm and passion. A lot of the restaurant clients are retraining and making it next level, because those people who want to come out and live and we feel hidden for so long are ready to be seen and heard. And we're going all out. I mean, I'm busier now since COVID than I was before.
Wow.
And I think the really great restaurateurs and clients, whether it be transportation, tourism, medical, they all understood. They retained me over 6 months ago in preparation for today. So, we all knew everybody were on their cell phones. We had, a really great audience there that weren't necessarily, working a 9 to 5 anymore. So we had a captive audience, and we really made a difference during that time.
I mean, what are your thoughts in regards to what's going on? Like, a lot of people were receiving, I was helping people with getting unemployment, and then the pandemic unemployment assistance, these different things. So I haven't really kept up with it recently, but I mean, I think they're still getting the money. People are not looking to go back to work because they're getting this supplemental money. And then why work if I'm getting paid type of situation?
Yeah.
Not to be negative about it, but I think that's what's really going on, right?
Yeah, I think it's time for people to get back to work. I mean, especially Vegas. I mean, Vegas is going to come back strong, like tenfolds. I mean, I have family members that's from now living that wants to come here. Like, are you guys open? Are you guys open? I'm like, yes. I'm like, June 1st is going to be like New Year's Eve here. Once that clock strikes 12 o'clock, I think we're definitely ready to go.
Got it.
So.
What's your thought process? I'm just thinking different things in regards to the whole vaccination and then wearing the mask situation. Because the other day I walked into CVS and I saw on the signage it said there was no sign that says you have to wear a mask.
It's
so I walk
confusing
in,
right
and the guy says to me, he's like, "Where's your mask?" And I said, "There's no sign on the door." He's like, "Well, we're cleaning the windows." I said, "That's my fault,"
Yes.
But it's like, it was kind of like Nazi Germany. He goes like, "Wait, where's your mask?"
Right.
And I was like, "I thought we were done with the mask situation." So I mean, I think people are confused. I know my dad. He's from New York. He's 75. He's walking around. He got the vaccination.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing the mask like he's a surgeon. And so what are your thoughts? Like June 1st, like 50-50, people going to be having, wearing the mask, not wearing the mask. Like, what are your thoughts?
you're seeing it now. I mean, if you go into casinos right now, you'll see people without their masks on
100%.
currently
Yes. Okay.
right now.
Yep.
100%.
And there is a list, an ongoing list. If you look it up, just Google it. It'll tell you who's requiring it, who's not. Like Trader Joe's, you don't have to wear your mask. Vons, Smith's, you have to wear your
Foods.
mask. But
Got
the casinos themselves, there are people without masks already.
Got it.
And I'm literally just not wearing it until I get told, and
Yes.
then I'll play
Yeah.
dumb and happily put it on.
Got it. It's a crazy time. I mean, it's like my dad's from New York, and he experienced it differently. And I think if different people that got sick, and I mean, fortunately, I was working in a law firm for the whole period of time. I wasn't one of the people that stayed home, and then I also had like an autoimmune situation as well. But I worked and used the bacterial cream. I was actually wearing a mask for marketing purposes more than before it
Yep.
started. People were laughing at me, but it said the law firm that I was working with, and was saying the Defenders at the time. And I was wearing, the people were laughing at me, and I said, "We should buy masks." Like, "Oh, why are you gonna buy masks?" Like, it's coming, And I didn't really know. I mean, the last time this happened was 1918 or whatever, right? But so yeah, it's definitely crazy times in general. And I do see more people out there in general. So tell me a little bit about restaurant nightlife. Any of you guys want to jump in regards to like what's coming, what's opening, something new, and what's your take on it?
Well, I can tell you right now what's really strong is local, off strip.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it is booming. We get a call, and we create concepts and we develop for our clients as well as for ourselves.
Okay.
More so off strip, we're getting calls right now of people just wanting to full on open because so many shuttered, which is unfortunate for our industry. But there's a lot that are coming back online and they're taking full advantage of what's going on right now. So in my opinion, I think you guys should share it. But I think Vegas Strong, Vegas Born, you're going to see some local concepts coming in and killing it in our marketplace.
I would agree. I think that a lot of local restaurants took advantage of this with the strips being closed and were able to curate a concept where locals don't feel like they have to go to the strip anymore. Before, you could only go there for a certain type of experience, but now it exists in the burbs from, Bloom and Henderson to Jing and Summerlin. I think it might be hard for casinos to now get these locals.
You should talk about what we have from Chicago coming in.
From
The new concepts that they want to.
yeah. So there's a couple of clients that we have that they actually want to open up two like classic cocktail bars and stuff here in Vegas, but mostly they want to stay local. They don't want to go on the strip. But another big thing is nightclubs though too, because other than restaurants being strong, I mean everyone's waiting for the nightclubs to open up, and how that's going to play out, we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean that's
They're creating lounges.
right now. It's more of like you stay in this 6-foot box kind of thing, and there's no dance floor. Everything is all reservations, but eventually we need to have those the dance floors and
So on June 1st, will they?
It's open.
It's open.
It's open June 1st. Yes.
Okay.
So that's going to be a little interesting compared to because restaurants you're staying on a table, but this one's a little different.
Yep.
Than nightclubs.
I was going to say we manage shows as well where we've done Spiegel World that does Absinthe and Atomic Saloon. They get to reopen 100% on June 1st, and they're planning a whole new, they're crazy to begin with if you've not seen them. So I think everybody's going to think outside of the box too on how they reopen.
What do you think in regards to the local like Bloom? I've seen it on social media and stuff like that. I haven't got a chance to go over there when I was a cop in Henderson. It was a different spot. But what's your take with Bloom? So do you think that the local business is not gonna? You think everyone's gonna go to the strip more? You think Bloom or other places will still be valuable?
I mean, I do. Like, right now, what's really trendy also is brunches. So I've launched 3 brunches in the past 5 weeks and sold out, doing extraordinary. I think also people are wanting to day drink a little more, not necessarily need to go to a nightclub. They still have that nightclub vibe, the DJ. So, it's so much easier for them not to have to worry about parking or valet or an Uber. It's in their neighborhood. So those have taken off like wildfire. So
I think also sometimes though, some people may like the local bar, but the local lounge is nice because people don't have to go so far. They don't have to worry about,
Exactly.
Also the transportation wise, right? It's so far to the
Correct.
strip, even though it's not that far, but, for drinking and driving wise. And, my goal is always to try to prevent, me being a retired cop, I'm still trying to prevent, people from getting DUIs. So I would tell people like stay local, don't drive a car all the way to the strip if you're in Henderson, right?
And not only that, there's a really amazing new transportation company called Captain, and they're all Teslas with a chauffeur, and they're an electronic car, so it's all very about the earth, and so it's really great because you have a new company who's going to ensure that there's COVID cleaning in between every guest. You still have a chauffeur, and it's only $10 more than an Uber. So there's so
they're
much.
totally brand new, or
They actually, the owner is here now.
Okay.
And he purchased Presidential and on-demand sedan, and he is the largest single purchaser of Teslas in the world. And this is the pilot city, and then we're opening in LA, Chicago, Miami, all over.
share a real quick story because you mentioned like the limo thing, which I'm really like pro limo. I like the whole like luxury Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton experience. I was actually in one of the magazines when I was working in a law firm. Basically, I had somebody that was going to come down to the law firm that had a warrant. So what happens is, I wanted to basically bring them to the office. I could meet with them and sit down with them. But what happened was he never showed up. So I called his mother and father, said, "Where is he?" And they said, "You won't believe it. He was at the bus stop. He got arrested because he had the warrant. He was coming down to my law firm that I was working at the time, basically, and I was trying to basically help him. But how do I help the guy, basically, if he gets arrested by the time he gets to my office?" So one of the things is because Vegas is so reasonable, I was like, you know what, how much is a limo? So I called up, I was using a Beltrans at the time, and basically it was like $60 for an hour. So I figured, you know what, if I send a limo to pick someone up, it's like luxury, customer service. And then from there, I can have the limo wait, do the consultation, have them meet with an attorney, and then basically go back home, and it may cost like $100 or $120 or something, which I thought was reasonable. So there's an article that was done. It was called like limos to like limo and lawyers to the rescue or something. But it's really reasonable out here in regards to transportation. So actually, I find that it's a really big deal to have this like luxury transportation. So any business, like actually now that I'm thinking about it, any of these restaurants, like they all should have some type of transportation instead of
agree.
luxury that should be part of it, right? Because that's the whole experience, right, of being
For sure.
like VIP. I just created something
Well,
here.
David, I'll create you a corporate account.
Corporate account there. So I like Captain Tesla. So no, but I like that stuff in general for like law firms as well, since that was kind of what I've been doing in general. But my goal was to prevent people, especially like if you have a DUI and you get arrested
Yep.
and your license is suspended and you can't drive,
worth it.
so I do believe in the luxury transportation. So in regards to local places, any other local places that you want to mention that you guys are working on, any projects that you want to invite people to come down to, whether it's June 1st or whenever?
Well, we have a couple of projects right now that are in the works, so we can't even talk about it right now, but they're in the development stage. We're excited. They are off strip. They are local. We also have another project that's going to be out at Lake of Las Vegas. That's going to be fun. Like-minded individuals. We're working with Tyra on some projects, and so we can't talk about that. We did tell you there's somebody from Chicago coming in, and that's off strip also. So everything is kind of that. I know she has some definite local places to bring up.
I do. A lot of people love alfresco dining and patio dining, and I would definitely recommend Kitchen Table in Henderson is fabulous. And if you're looking for a really great vibey type of brunch that's not as nightlifey as the Bloom, the Stove is incredible. I mean, wonderful food, wonderful chefs. Everything is, homemade scratch kitchens. So those are the type of brands that I really choose to partner with, the people with the passion who are in the kitchen. The chef is not just an owner, he's actually running the restaurant, touching the tables, shaking hands and kissing babies. I think that's really important for my brand. So really proud of those people.
So just to recap, so with both of you, do you work together, you partner together in certain things? Are you more of the public relations for their aspect of their business?
Both. We originally were, they brought me on, and now we're doing a little more focused
Yes.
partnership
Okay,
moving
great.
forward.
We have a lot of strategic partnerships that
Right.
we like her to be involved in from those aspects, and we're doing a lot right now that you're going to see come to fruition soon, and yeah, we're excited.
So if someone wanted to open a business, or any of the listeners or viewers wanted to open a business, they want to open a restaurant and so on, where they would come to you guys in general?
Yes.
Ideas, creative.
Yes.
Yes. Honestly, I think that, having these amazing partnerships, they not only can run a restaurant and launch a restaurant if the owner chooses to stay in the background, they create concepts as well. So from beginning to end, from hiring to training, logistics, and then I come in and do all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We take a dream and take it to fruition, and then
Right.
bring her in to say, "Hey, we need to blow this up."
Got it. Do you guys also work on, because I was just thinking of a friend of mine that does licensing. Do you actually work on licensing, or that's
Oh
not
yeah,
really
Absolutely.
we do everything from
You
the
do it
liquor
all.
licenses to
Everything.
the license permits, all of it.
Great
Construction,
question.
pre-opening, training, and operation.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, a lot of people open restaurants and so on. I mean, you basically need money in general, whether there's grants or anything that's basically out there. Anyone that wants to open a restaurant that would contact you guys. How expensive, to open a local restaurant? I mean, we're talking about the Strip is whole situation, but let's just say someone wanted to open a local restaurant. They're a chef. They worked in a restaurant. They want to do something. I mean, we're talking $250,000, $500,000. What's the average?
It depends.
It does. There's so many variables, but for instance, if you were to partner, I represent Dapper Development, Jay Dapper, who's incredible. He's a visionary. He bought the Huntridge Theater. He's opening the Bend. He just purchased the post office downtown. So if you work with an amazing land developer who believes in your concept, he may actually build it for you and roll in a lot of the costs into the lease, and then you bring in an amazing partner to launch it. And it's just, it's really nice that we have at our fingertips all of these opportunities.
But then if you have somebody that doesn't do that, it'll depend. Are they going to a space you're completely building out that doesn't already have the meat and bones? We're developing something for somebody right now that was already a previous restaurant, so it still has equipment, and so it saves you so much money from like almost a turnkey that all you have to do is work on design and aesthetics. So it really depends. We work with everybody closely, and we tailor it and customize it to whoever we work with.
So what do you thought? You just brought up the Huntridge location, and you may not be able to talk about certain things. I don't know what you could talk about, but that area in general, I had 2 condos over in 13th Street, and it is being revitalized. I think they were talking about that whole, whether it was a trolley system, but I don't think that's going through now to the airport and something like that. What are your thoughts about that area in general? Especially, I know I did notice there was a sign over by Capriati's where it says Dapper Management, something like that in general. So,
The
I mean,
Garrison.
what's the thought process? I mean, we think that there's, what do you call it, gentrification or revitalization?
I mean, there's so much history, and that particular theater is one of the oldest landmarks in the state of Nevada.
Really?
So to have someone who is looking not to just get tenants or save history, but to actually preserve it, work with the historians, it's just so special. I mean, I can't even explain what he's doing, and no, please.
It was huge back in the day. I used to go a lot. Like I said, I'm born and raised here before these two. I don't even want to date myself, right? But Huntridge was huge. Even when I was going to high school, like we all hung out there.
Right.
And then it went away. But for him to revitalize that, I think is pretty amazing.
How was the area back in the day, though, compared to like what is now?
Well, back then it wasn't unsafe. Now he's going to change that. I mean, now things are coming back in that whole area. It's changed. It went from that's where everybody went to that's where nobody went.
right.
And now people are coming back. Same with downtown.
I would agree. There's so much happening that we just, can't talk about quite yet. But you have the right people making the right decisions and doing the right thing for this community. And it is about, he's also Vegas born, and the fact that, everybody wants to tear things down when it's 10 years old. To have that opposite, it's really refreshing and just so inspiring.
So what's your thoughts with, because we're talking Charleston and Maryland of that particular spot, then with Tony passing away, sad situation with all the real estate, and I don't even have a map to all the places he was buying. I know it was
lot.
fenced off. I think they're trying to auction it off for the city. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. I don't know. I'm just talking a little bit of, but basically that whole area was going down and it was trying to be revitalized as well. I was thinking that it almost does connect over to Maryland in that area as well. What's your take with the whole downtown or all those properties that Tony had as well?
I don't know if you want to talk about it. You've been spending a lot of time there recent.
Yeah, I mean, Tony's been the icon of downtown. I mean, right now there's still so many concepts that's getting built there. I mean, we were just looking at a space I don't know if I can say it, right across from Carson's Kitchen that has a rooftop deck, and that
It's J Dappers.
It is J Dappers. Yeah. So it's not slowing down. I think downtown is actually getting better and better and better every single year, especially now when the whole COVID and pandemic is over with. I think everyone, especially all the locals, they want to spend time at that around that area.
And I think the good news is that the people who could potentially take on those projects are the J Dappers of the world and the other people who really are going to continue with Tony's vision,
His vision,
and wanting to do that, not the opposite. So, silver lining.
I think that you're going to see a huge boom down there.
And there's
Arts District.
And these are
there.
brand new buildings too. So
Yes.
they're not like
Right.
existing buildings. They're building it from the ground up. So
Got it. So long story short, so you guys believe still in downtown,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
or in the Charleston area, being that revitalized Charleston and Maryland.
Yes.
You believe that.
Arts District.
What do you think? 10 years, 20 years? I mean, the other question really comes down to people say that there's not enough people living downtown. I mean, we haven't had any really high-rise building. I mean, we have apartment buildings popping up, I think more in the local suburbs and different places, but we don't really have any major. And right now, with this whole construction thing going on with the pricing and lumber and the cost of building something, there's no one really building any high-rises or anything like that. I don't really see anything going up. Actually, I purchased 2 places back in the day on the North Strip over at Sky and Allure. And they were saying that the price when it was the foreclosure market, about 9 years ago, 10 years ago, they were saying that the cost that you're paying per square foot, that you can even buy something, the cost of the construction, right, of the walls and the screws and all that stuff, like you couldn't buy it for that price. You couldn't build it for that price. So it was worth getting into. Now it's probably $100,000 worth more, but there's no other high rises. There was really that big boom, right, like on the Strip, all these high rises. I kind of feel kind of sad that there should be more going on, but it just seems like it's been real quiet. And then right now, people are saying just even with, I was actually talking to some people in Pahrump, and I'm going out there, weekly on a Wednesday. They were saying that you can't even find a developer because of the whole housing crunch, that you can't even find a place. But what's your thoughts? Do you think that there needs to be more high-rise developments, more people living downtown to feed off the restaurants? right? Because it's not as many. I mean, people can want to go down, but a lot of people in other cities traditionally want to live downtown and then basically, not use your car and go to the local restaurant, go to the local lounge and bar. What's your thoughts with that, with housing and the local hospitality industry?
I think that will need to come at some point because you are going to find the parking situations and, like you said, the lack of those high rises aren't there traditionally right now. I think that will come. I think right now, because we are in such where people are selling their house and making so much more than even they should right now, where maybe your house was worth 400 2 months ago is now worth 600 right now. That's going to happen downtown, and they're going to need to build. But you still have so many people from all over Las Vegas. We're still a community that will drive downtown because it's popular. And I think that they're always going to see that busy. And at some point, like Tony Hsieh wanted everybody to live down there. That was like his big vision. I think they'll have to build some of that, as it comes. But as of right now, it doesn't take that far to get down there, no matter if you live in Green Valley, North Las Vegas, to drive, to work, to go visit. Parking's going to be a bigger deal, I think.
I think you're right. I think the infrastructure for actually people living there still is a good at least 10 years away. But I mean, I go to Barry's at Circa on a Thursday night. You can't get a table. I mean, people are looking for these experiences.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I think if you build it, people will come.
I agree.
Well, it's actually interesting because here at Sticky Paws, the studio that we're filming The Problem Solver is actually, to me, it's about a podcast experience. Next door, we have this like a VIP room area, which is a beautiful place in general. So to me, I think everybody these days, everyone wants an experience in general. It's kind of like back in the day, the only experience I think was out there was like Benihana. They have like a little bit of a show and a little bit of a fire, but that was like an experience, right? It was like, it wasn't just about the food, it was about going out and like for the ambiance in general. So since I'm big with solving problems in general, I mean, let's talk a little about employment, for people, because there's thousands of people basically say that they're looking for jobs in general, and then once the unemployment stops and the pandemic unemployment, that I mentioned as well, once that stops in general, people want to get back. So what tips can you give? Because you guys, each of you guys in general, would you say that you've interviewed a lot of people? How many people have you interviewed for jobs over their 20 years?
Oh my God, I can't even count. I can't even count. But I will say that right now, we're getting phone calls, not from the people that want to work. We're getting phone calls from the people that need
people.
Workers.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so when that unemployment kicks out, they're talking about getting rid of that 300 that right now they're still giving people. I think you're going to see an influx of people suddenly reaching out again going, hey, Marissa, hey, Rudy, I need a job.
Right.
Because now it's not there anymore. Right now people they're making their money at home. We're going to see that kick back in, I think, quickly, because they're talking about changing that up really quick.
So if people are looking for a job in general, I mean, I was going to say, if you want to provide a number or we get an email address on the podcast, screen, so people would see it. If people are looking for work, if you want them to email a resume or something like that, what would you like? I mean, if we had 500 resumes,
and we have it on there, our email's on there if they want to.
On there.
So if anyone's looking for a job, email a resume, and then basically you guys can call. So it's anything with restaurant, hospitality, lounge, bar,
Nightlife.
bartenders.
Anything hotel driven,
marketing,
PR.
social media. They can call 1-844-AVA-ROSE, AVA Rose.
Okay, great. So bottom line is, if you're looking for any type of work, you could send in a resume. You guys are still interviewing, or you have different people, human resources.
We have
and
so
stuff?
many different people we could put I don't want to say we're the unemployment like gurus. I can say that we have all of the relationships in town that can say, oh, you'd be perfect for this restaurant or, PR.
And I love doing that. I mean, finding the right talent for the right client, I love it.
Got it. So the bottom line is, there's no excuse if you're looking for a job and work.
No.
At least I'm able to basically help some people in general.
I would agree.
Listen, right now you have Cosmopolitan, MGM, restaurant groups that are putting 150 positions saying we're doing hiring fairs because they have 10 interviews that they schedule and nobody shows up. So that's happening currently as we speak.
One of the things with the Problem Solver in regards to what I'm doing, I actually have a progressive web app, which is called the problemsolver.vegas. And on the app itself, basically people add it to their home screen. This for employment, for housing, for school, for if someone gets a ticket, they get arrested, DUI, basically they can go to the app and basically they can fill out information. So they're looking for a job, employment. We have different PDFs. So what I'll do is I'll add your information as well. So if people want to basically go for a job, they can basically click a button. They can just upload their resume.
Sure.
And then it actually can be sent to all three of you. I'll get your email addresses and upload that as well. So I'm trying different things to basically help people in general. So what are the things, give me some ideas to the people that are listening and viewers, basically some tips when they're going for a job. I know that now it's a little bit different because people the businesses really want people. So they may not be as picky, but like if you want to basically make money in this field, what's the look, what's the part? I mean, some people, I feel like when they get dressed up, they're not wearing a tie? I mean, do they need to wear a suit? Like, tell me about like dress attire showing up in general, because I think these days, you know, you got to dress the part, act as if, and stuff like that. But what's your take on that? What do you see these days? I mean, is the millennial? They
Yeah,
just
I
come in
think you
shorts and
definitely
t-shirt?
need to dress the part. I mean, don't go in there with a tank top and shorts, which I had. You know, when I was doing operation, I had a couple interviewers that came in doing that, and just the first impression is just like, all right, you're supposed to, you know, show me that you want this position, you know, and definitely update your resume. I think is one of the biggest things. But I think the big thing is just show your personality.
That's
you
what
know?
I was going to say. That was
Your
the
personality is going to be the
huge.
biggest thing. You can have all these histories and all these, what you call that?
you can't teach somebody
Yeah.
passion.
That's the one thing.
I'll train somebody to do the job. If they come in with like
Correct.
this glowing personality and you're like, I could see it. I'd be calling Tyra, this person belongs at Jing. That makes a huge difference. And like he said, the first impression is huge. And we just had somebody send us their resume and it didn't have dates. It was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, we have to rewrite your resume. I can't even send this. And so when we rewrote the resume, and the first thing this person said was, oh my God, now I have to live up to this. I was like, oh my God, I shouldn't even be sending you if you feel that way. I was like, it's a job. Like,
Yeah.
put on your face. And
I mean, also when I was the director of concierge at Venetian and Palazzo, if the uniform that we provide is nicer than the clothes that you come in with, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've had the extreme. I've had somebody come in and say, this is what I look like in a tuxedo. And I was like, wow, thank you. It was very sweet. But so, yeah, I definitely would say that. And then, you know, in hospitality, you've got 30 seconds to 3 minutes to make an impression and make a connection. So if you can't do that with us, you can't do that with my guests.
So do you believe in having, like, for a male, wearing a tie, or that you think basically just a regular button-down shirt? I mean, I guess it depends on how you
doesn't
look,
need a
right?
tie. I think
Even
just
just
having
like
just
him.
like, you know, a nice sports jacket kind of thing, and as long as everything like looks presentable,
Presentable?
yeah, I think you're fine. I
not
don't think-
everybody has that.
True. Why? You know, I feel these days, like, if you're really looking for a job, I mean, especially if you're on unemployment, you're getting paid. I mean, some people were making a lot of money in general on
lot.
unemployment
Yeah, a
these
lot of
days.
money.
I mean, you could go afford a tie. You know, you go to
Exactly.
They're making $1,000 a week in unemployment.
Yeah, I mean, some people making a lot of money. I mean, you could afford a tie. I mean, the truth is, even if you go to Ross, any of these places, I mean, they sell name brand stuff, you know, for really reasonable. But
Absolutely.
I think that they have to dress the part, act as if, to basically show that they really want the job, let personality come out of it. So the bottom line is that if you really are hungry, you can get the job. There's actually a book that says you can't
Yes.
teach hungry. And you know,
Agree.
the thing with this, if you want to make money and you want to support your family and basically have a future and a career, I guess, in hospitality, you got to just do your part.
Absolutely.
But also, can I just say one thing? Like, if you're not even like, if that's not really who you are, you're not accustomed to wearing a jacket, then maybe you shouldn't try to work at a fine dining restaurant. You know, go what suits you.
Got it.
Right? Because if it's that difficult to buy a tie, and why are you applying at a fine dining anything? Right?
Sure. No, if you feel uncomfortable, I guess
Right.
it's not the place for you to, you know, you're wasting probably a lot of people's time. Then in the long
Correct.
run. What's your thoughts in regards to, I just heard recently the buffets and safety actually were two things that are basically coming up in the strip.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what's your thought with buffets? Like someone saying it's, I mean, you guys have been around. I mean, I don't know if you're pro buffet or not, but they always say that it was never a money maker. It was just a way of basically bringing people into the casino. And then in regards to like the whole health thing, what's your take on the whole buffet thing?
I will tell you that we've had numerous meetings over COVID, and you're going to see some come back online, like your Bacchanals and, you know, South Point's the only buffet that's been open for all this time. But we've met with so many different people from, I don't want to talk about them specifically because of their clients, but some of them are going to get rid of buffets completely and figure out a different moneymaker because they are a loss leader. Some of them make money, but a lot of them are an amenity to the slot player on the floor. So now they're looking at things like a food hall or a different
Automation too.
activation. Yes, automation. We're getting a lot of calls for different things opposed to what buffets used to be.
You know, I never, you said food hall. That's kind of like the Cosmopolitan, that spot, right?
A small version. Mhm.
It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of, I never thought about food hall. Is there any other place like that?
There are
Besides
new
Cosmo?
ones coming online.
There are.
There's
Yeah.
a lot. There's a lot. You're going to see a lot more of that.
I mean, what I would like to see, honestly, is I would love there to be some sort of table side service that comes around. So it serves like a buffet, but somebody actually, more like a dim sum experience. I think people need to be creative. I think buffets per se are a little passe.
They are. They're outdated.
Unless they're right. You know, it's kind of a sign of the times. I think unless it's super upscale, something you couldn't good on your own. Like, I can't imagine going to a buffet and getting eggs and bacon and like, that's just, so I think it has to be an experience.
Yep.
And so I think that people are going to have to reinvent the buffet. It won't be like we saw yesterday, or it won't be sustainable.
Agreed.
I do like the whole food hall situation. It's kind of like an East Coast thing as well, like even San Francisco, right?
Yeah, it's all over.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many
See-
amazing
And then
food halls.
nice little different places. There's actually in downtown LA. I'm sure you've been to, what is it, like the Grand Course or whatever it's called.
There's so many, like, even if you go to Napa, there's Oxbow, and you've got the Ferry Building in San Francisco, and LA's got a huge one, and you've got all over New York. I mean, they're everywhere, and you're going to see a lot more coming up. There's some people afraid because of COVID, because again, those are close proximity. It's all on one roof, even though it's different. You have to activate those. I think a big part of food hall is activating them. So you're creating events that are driven with all the different experiences inside there. But you're going to see several food halls pop up here in Vegas. I can tell you several locations I know are happening.
Yep.
What's your take on the whole safety situation in regards to Vegas? People, do things change now? People were saying that we're bringing in different type of people. I mean, I don't know. I really haven't followed it that much, but that basically we're bringing in criminals into Las Vegas because of I don't really get it. I mean, people, if you're not working on unemployment, people have time. So maybe more people coming to Vegas that were currently, were working and now they're coming during the week. I don't know. What's your take in regards to safety? Do you feel unsafe, walking on the strip or?
I mean, if I go to the strip, I typically either valet or park and go right in. So I don't really see, not that I don't believe it. Of course I believe it, but I haven't really been exposed. So I don't really have, a meaningful opinion on that, regretfully.
I've
That
seen
was-
some different clientele.
That was a perfect PR spin that I just did. Okay.
No, I'm just,
I
it's
think
funny.
we're
I mean,
gonna
we have
see it
one major
change.
street. So, I mean, like,
Yeah.
if anything happens,
It's gonna
a strip,
change.
I think we
gonna-
saw a lot of it during the pandemic and stuff, because it's like, especially the news, they definitely covered like every single day of what's going on over there. I mean, I wasn't at the strip during this whole thing. I just saw it in the news. But when like Tyra, whenever I go to the strip, I don't do the walk thing like the tourist
Right.
does and stuff.
Locals don't.
I just usually go to where I need to go and leave.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think that the average person that's walking around,
yeah.
I mean, maybe on the strip, maybe it's a different type of walking around
Exactly.
Well, if
situation.
you charge $10 for a room versus $300 for a room,
It's
the
different
person that
clientele.
comes for $10 versus $300 is just a different clientele,
Right.
and that's what I attribute that to.
Got it. So if lowering the prices basically bring in just all kinds of people in general, and there's nothing wrong with people in general where they come from. It's just we don't want any crime taking place.
No,
but
no.
I will say though, I think that like in most places, like in New York City, if New York City is so big, so we're here. It's like everything's the strip, right? Like if it's in Henderson, like
Yep.
it's like so far away,
We don't
but
see it.
You don't see, you don't hear about it. So on the strip, I mean, if someone got into like a little bit of a fight, it's like, oh, there was a fight on the strip. There was, it's unsafe, So I mean, I just think that because it's the one major street, it just gets a lot of heat in general, and things do happen everywhere. And I always say there's crime anywhere in the United States of America. in
True.
general,
You came from New York. You know how New York is. I was in Philadelphia, so it depends on the
Chicago's
different
similar
areas.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Chicago. You see it a lot more than you see it here.
And I mean, if you think
Traditionally.
about it, the strip is really condensed and really small. So, I mean, if you take that into consideration, and because we're such an international mecca, I think we're going to get a lot more media coverage
Yep.
because it's on the Las
Yeah,
Vegas Strip, because it's going to trend more.
Yep.
Got it. So bottom line is that come to the strip, come back to Vegas. Bottom line is there's still going to be good deals in general. People that want to work, they can work in general. You guys are offering assistance. You did mention that you'd actually, is that something you normally do? You help somebody with a resume? Like if someone
Oh, yeah.
needed,
do.
It's
Yeah.
something. I mean, honestly, I did this pro bono, but we typically charge for that. But we would help. We would help somebody if it was really
White
looking
talent.
at something, yes, that we needed for a client. And we also do recruiting in our website. So,
Okay.
like for instance, if somebody calls us and said we need a chef, and they sent me a resume that I could not send, we would help, because that also helps us place somebody.
Okay, great. The bottom line is you guys are willing to help, and there's a lot of nonprofits
Correct.
that help people with resumes and so on. I mean, the bottom line is there's no excuse if you want to work, and you guys are helping out, which I actually
Yes.
commend you guys for doing that. And most people wouldn't even know, from your circle that you probably even do this, right? Because a lot of people know that you're above, you're basically they wouldn't think that you probably are trying to help people on that level. Do you think people help them know
I
that?
don't know
Or?
that. I think that people that know us know that we would, because it's all in our repertoire. But
Okay.
I think that people that don't should know that that's something we offer in our services.
And in regards to Bar Cotta Hospitality, how did you guys come up with the name? Tell us a little bit about that.
So
Okay.
Barcata. So when we started this company, we were trying to figure out like how can we name our company with because it's a group of friends. So Filipino background, group of friends in Filipino is Barcata, and we're like, all right, this is perfect. And coincident enough, when we put the infinity sign between bar and kata, bar is we set the bar high for ourselves and for our clients, and then kata is actually working hard for a certain goal. So it kind of got
It was organic.
It was organic, yeah. And it happened actually after a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
So which is always a good story to
No, I like it. It's different.
We've known each other a long time
Yeah.
and worked in different circles, and we actually have been strategic partners in another company that we still do operational stuff for. So this is our own project, and we have several things we're working on right now, so we're excited.
Awesome. I can see the excitement. I need to get involved in your excitement. There, so I
Yeah.
can be
Yes.
excited too.
You need to have a little bit of your wine.
I need to drink a little bit more wine. So Tyra, tell us
Yes.
in regards to the public relations. I know that you were a previous, you were a past president. What is it? Concierge Association?
So it's the Southern Nevada Hotel Concierge Association.
Got
So
it.
we're the largest. And yeah, so I was every single board position except treasurer because I'm not good with money. But right,
Just bringing it in.
good at spending money. And then I became the president, and I've loved it. And I'm now an honorary because I haven't been a concierge in over a decade now, which is shocking to me to hear
Yep.
and even think. But without this profession and these relationships and friendships that I've built, I would never have Ava Rose Agency or Resort Series MD, which is my medical marketing agency.
Okay.
That's how we met
Yeah.
way back when.
Tell me a little bit, like we call it, you call it integrative marketing. Like what specifically you do? Because I think that you're a much higher level than most people probably would think that you do. Tell us, like, people that are local restaurant, local business. How could you help them? How could you help me? How could you help the problem solver?
So, PR is, I love PR, but I feel like, the new version of public relations in Vegas specifically is you have to be so much more. It has to be partnership marketing. It has to be collaborations. It has to be assisting with charitable opportunities, working with celebrities, working with influencers, recruiting. I mean, we really are an integrative marketing company specializing in public relations. It's not my passion to do SEO or build websites, but it is my passion to create a successful restaurant. We do business consulting, mystery shopping, basically anything that you can need to either launch, relaunch, rebrand. We love it. We
Got
absorb
it.
everything. So,
And that's specifically for,
Ava Rose.
that's for restaurants or lounges or any type of,
It's actually everything. So
you said medical as well?
yes. So, my first client, one of my first clients was Chef Scott Cummings, who won Hell's Kitchen season 12, and he's amazing, and we still work really closely together. And I think that's what's amazing is that you're building these relationships, and the clients never leave. You just keep building and building and building. Still working with him today, very proudly. But my first other PR company outside of food and beverage was Cirrus Aviation, which is the largest private jet company here in Vegas. When I started with Greg Woods, we had 2 jets. Now we're going on 28. So it's, making those key introductions, whether it be aircraft management, with celebrity DJs at Hakkasan or Tao Group, or, aircraft, acquisitions, buying new aircrafts, making those key introductions. So it's so much more than just typical public relations. We do launch parties, we do events. I mean, it's really, I like to get involved in a little bit of everything because
Awesome.
I'm just so passionate about
No,
it.
that's great.
Thank you.
I love public relations and marketing as well too. It's
Thank
great when
you.
you have good people working together in general. Is there anything specifically? So we have about 5 minutes left. I want to make sure that we get any topics that you want to bring out because a lot of people that maybe listen to this are listeners of yourself because the podcast will go out there and basically other people listen. Is there anything else that you'd want to share that you're currently working on, what you're doing, or that if you want people to call you for something specific or how you can help people, what would you like to share in general?
I have one more, sorry.
Yeah, jump in.
So, Resort Series MD, I'm really proud of, and now that tourism is opening. So we provide medical assistance 24/7 to all the luxury resorts on the Strip. So if a guest were to come and forget their prescription and they don't know what to do because the doctors can't call in out of state.
Okay.
They can call us 24/7. We can arrange for a courier, call in the prescription. We have a master account with Walgreens. And then if they're not feeling well and they want a doctor in the room, like traditional house call medicine, we do that as well, or we do phone triage. So now that, all these mega resorts are reopening, I'm really excited. The concierge and I work really closely together, so that's really exciting. And I'm just grateful to them.
Is that all? What is it being serviced? Is it just MGM, or is it all strip?
Oh my gosh, all the Caesars, Venetian, Palazzo, Waldorf Astoria. There's too many to list.
How many calls do you get? I wanted to bring that up. How many calls do you get a day?
I mean, it just varies so much. When, tourism was down, there was virtually none.
Okay.
Because the insurance I carry is for tourism. So, yes, we can assist locals. We don't accept insurance for, so most locals are going to go to their doctor or go to their, right. So it's basically tourism. But I could get 10 calls a day. I could get 1 call in 3 days. You just never know, because you never know who's going to be sick or, what's happening. But also it's based on the market mix. Is it a business traveler versus an FIT traveler or a leisure traveler? That makes all the difference in the world as well. I have large groups that come in and they say, okay, we want a nurse practitioner, we want a doctor, on call for us exclusively 24/7, or, in the room to do temperature checks. So we do all of that. We make it all happen.
So I was asking the number, when it's really busy, would you get like 5 calls a day?
More, a lot
10
more.
a day, 20 a day?
Yeah, about 12.
I was just thinking whether or not, because, I do work with some local pharmacists in town as well, and they were doing the whole vaccinations where I was trying to get people in a little bit. And I heard people were coming from Mexico because they couldn't get the vaccination. They were flying from Mexico to Vegas. They were going to like Walmart and different places basically getting the vaccination because they can't get it in Mexico. But I'm assuming you don't offer the vaccination shot in a local hotel.
No,
Not
we
yet,
don't do
not-
that,
not
but
yet.
we can help arrange for the vaccination.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
See, she does it all.
Yeah.
She's solving problems in
She is.
every single hotel room in the Las Vegas Strip. No, that's awesome. I love that you're doing that. I knew that you were doing that, but I really wasn't that knowledgeable with it all. But that's great because you're really helping a lot of people, and you're providing that customer service plus medical attention. And it's a doctor or a nurse practitioner,
Nurse
depending
practitioner
on
or
what
a
they want.
PA, depending on what's needed. And then I also do private concierge for big CEOs and companies who just want a very elevated, just one person to go to 24/7. So,
God, that's awesome. Rudy, quick minute or two. Anything else that you want to share? Anything that you want? If I could make your phone ring for something, what would it be for?
I think if like the time is now. If you have a vision, if you have a dream, that if you want to open, if you want to be part of this hospitality, industry, if you have a bar, restaurant, or even nightclub or show that you want to open, just come contact us. We can really make that vision into a reality for you. So.
That's great.
And I will say, besides what we do on the concept development and working with our clients and management, we are very event driven, and we have a lot of partnerships between liquor, beer, wine, as well as activations from not only your concepts, but other things that we can provide an experience. We have some amazing partnerships right now that could create a fantasy for people. And so we're very big, even on the charitable front. I sit on the board of Epicurean Charitable Foundation, as well as ALS, and we've also partnershiped on Michael J. Fox. So if there is something charitable or a huge event that you need to happen, we're very well versed in that, and we can provide the whole experience.
Okay, great. Well, what I want to share with you is you are solving problems in different ways locally in the community. You're also solving problems basically for people that are coming from out of town or for medical and stuff. So I always laugh because when people say what's the problem solver? Basically, it's me trying to help people, but I'm bringing other people that are problem solvers as well.
Yep.
Not that you consider yourself a problem solver per se, but you guys are helping people. So I commend you for the stuff that you're doing. And also you're basically boosting the economy, right? People working, getting jobs, employment. You get everything that you do, right? Basically, whether it's food and beverage and drinks. I mean, we're helping the economy basically get back. And it's definitely a time that we need to make that, movement. The last thing I'll leave you with in general, because I want to work with you guys in general, but one of my big things is that I work with different, like I said, problem solvers. I try to connect people, be the master connector in general, but I also work with several different law firms. So God forbid somebody basically, if they get a ticket, I would love to basically help out. A lot of times I get some of the local law firms to do traffic ticket representation, for free to help people. Not that I want people driving recklessly, but to basically avoid points on their insurance. I'm working with Las Vegas Legal Network, basically, where basically they have different lawyers that are basically helping people in different ways. So basically, if you guys need any help, whether it's traffic tickets, accidents, personal injury, you name it, whether it's trademark, probate, you name the lawyer basically in Las Vegas Legal Network. Basically, there's different lawyers that we basically have that are 24/7, kind of like a concierge service in general. And then my main thing is to make sure that with this network that we're getting the right attention, because some lawyers may not handle certain cases, or someone comes in from Los Angeles, or they didn't see a doctor right away. So I'm trying to be the liaison with Las Vegas Legal Network and the Problem Solver to basically help different people so that we could work together as well. So, but anyway, I really appreciate you guys coming on the show. Definitely want to work together. I'd like for you guys to come back. What I like to do is have you guys come back, and then you can invite all your, all your business gurus in the strip, and we could have drinks here and so on. I know this was kind of last minute. I appreciate you guys coming on. So again, I appreciate you guys' time in general. We'll have you guys come back again, make it more of a social gathering. You could blow up the Sticky Paw studio here, and we'll go from there. So
We'll bring you some fun barware and stuff.
Yeah.
So that you
yeah, if you guys want to, like I said, this is we're going on now about 5 months doing the weekly episode. So anyway, so I appreciate you guys coming on
Thank
again.
you.
We'll do
Thank
the
you.
last cheers for
All right.
success for 2021.
Oh, I know you're
We'll
emptying.
get you some more drinks there.
I know. Cheers.
But anyway, and again, this is Dave Kohlmeyer, the Problem Solver. Please, every single week, we're trying to bring on some great people in the community, like the lovely 3 people that we have here today. Again, you can go to theproblemsolver.vegas every single day, 24/7. If you have a problem, you want me to solve it, I have other problem solvers like these lovely people to help you looking for jobs, employment, school, any type of problem, accident, injury, or if you got arrested, God forbid. I'm here to help. Again, thanks for joining this week, The Problem Solver. Have a great week and be safe.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks all.